8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The President says that Colombo is to be beautified with plans provided by Surbana Jurong. It has been stated that transactions can be carried out easily with the approval of the usage of the Indian rupee in the country. The police will take stern legal action against persons who misuse the hotline number 119. 10 arrested for illegally fishing in Trincomalee. In foreign news, thousands leave scout camp after South Korea heatwave. The vision to transform Colombo into a beautiful city is already in motion with plans provided by Surbana Jurong, while similar plans have been prepared for Trincomalee, aiming to enhance the development in that region as well. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said. He said Surbana Jurong is also actively involved in creating a tourist zone for Verugal, Aru, Tubatakolo and Arugambe areas, contributing to the growth of the tourism industry. The President made these remarks at an international conference on architecture organized by the Royal Institute of British Architects chapter in Sri Lanka in collaboration with the American Institute of Architects and the Italian Embassy of Sri Lanka on the theme Architecture, a Lasting Impact, held this morning at the Cinnamon Grand Colombo, the President's media division said. The President said the focus on expanding the tourist industry is expected to create opportunities for non-government universities in Sri Lanka. Minister Ranjit Singh Balapitiya says that transactions can be carried out easily with the approval of the usage of the Indian rupee in the country. It will be more advantageous to the country as Sri Lanka is conducting more transactions with India. He made these remarks while participating at a media briefing held in the Ruanwala area. The police says that stern action will be taken against persons or groups who misuse the hotline number 119. This has been introduced for citizens to use in dire emergencies for their safety. The police stated that more than 3,500 calls have been received on this number irresponsibly. Some messages are false and misleading. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. A group of 10 persons have been apprehended by the Sri Lanka Navy in Trincomalee for engaging in illegal fishing activities. The Sri Lanka Navy apprehended 10 individuals recently in the Nilavali and Lankapatuna areas in Trincomalee while they were engaging in illegal fishing activities. During these search operations, the Navy also seized illegally caught fish, 116 illegally harvested sea cucumbers, 3 dinghies and diving gear. Subsequently, a stock of fish caught by using explosives was seized by the Navy, after which both the suspects and the illegally caught fish were taken into naval custody. Minister of Health Kehelia Rambukwala says that purchasing of medicinal drugs for emergency will be banned completely. He stated that the purchasing of emergency drugs was carried out due to the medicinal drugs requirement of the country. Several issues that prevailed at the Director Board have already been resolved. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that the Odyssey tourism train will be deployed to the southern province as well. The new journey of the Sitavaka Odyssey train commenced at the Colombo Fort today. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Minister Susil Premajanta says that the weight of children's school bags will be reduced gradually. Parents have pointed out that new concepts by school principals and teachers are needed for the success of this program. Parents and the health sector have pointed out that it is imperative that attention should be paid by the entire school network in this regard. That came to you in Watchlight.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
World News, the headlines. Thousands leave scout camp after South Korea heatwave. Venezuela Red Cross President Mario Enrique Villarreal fired by court. Saudi Arabia kicks off Ukraine talks that exclude Russia. UK scouts are leaving an international event in South Korea that has been hit by extreme heat. Hundreds have fallen ill at the outdoor World Scout Jamboree, which is attended by more than 40,000 young people from around the world amid 35 degrees centigrade heat. The British group of 4,500, the largest in attendance, is moving from Seoul to Seoul, the Scout Association confirmed. The US and Singaporean teams are also pulling their scouts out of the event. South Korea's government said it was sending 60 more medics and 700 service workers to maintain the toilets and showers, with many countries staying at the site for the next week. The Supreme Court has dismissed the president of Venezuela's Red Cross after more than 4 decades. Mario Enrique Villarreal has been allegedly accused of harassment and ill treatment, which the state prosecutors are investigating. Members of the charity's board of directors have also been sacked. In a statement, Venezuela's Red Cross expressed its absolute and unrestricted support for Mr. Villarreal. In the interim, the court has ordered a broad and diverse restructure of the charity. Saudi Arabia has kicked off a weekend summit in Jeddah, in which senior officials from some 40 countries, but not Russia, will aim to draft key principles on how to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky yesterday welcomed the wide range of countries represented in the talks that began today, including developing countries hit hard by the surge in food prices triggered by the war. This is very important because on issues such as food security, the fate of millions of people in Africa, Asia and other parts of the world directly depends on how fast the world moves to implement the peace formula, he said. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Thousands leave scout camp after South Korea heatwave. Venezuela Red Cross President Mario Enrique Villarreal fired by court. Saudi Arabia kicks off Ukraine talks that exclude Russia. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
18,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer will be imported from Vietnam with the financial assistance of the World Bank. The ship carrying the fertilizer has reached the Colombo port. That was Development News.
Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500.
On to sports news. The 5th LPL match between the Jaffna Kings and the B Love Candy is being played in Pallekele. The B Love Candy team won the toss and opted to bat. Jaffna Kings have scored 36 runs for the loss of 3 wickets a short while ago.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු පුහීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Entrepreneurs. 10 entrepreneurs who received intensive help from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and Good Life X, GLX, Business Accelerator to develop their climate adaptation ideas, displayed their results in a demo day event recently. This demo day marked the end of an 8-month program to help early-stage businesses grow into scalable and sustainable enterprises that can enhance the climate resilience of agriculture, fisheries and tourism-associated livelihoods in Sri Lanka. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The Department of Agriculture has introduced a special new yogurt. Director General of the department, Malati Parasuraman, says that this product will be issued as a multi-soya yogurt for the first time. It will be sold at 20 rupees. That was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. Several spells of light showers will occur in the western and Sabaragama provinces and in the Gaul, Matara, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the eastern province during the evening or at night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. To end tonight's news broadcast, the headlines again. The President says that Colombo is to be beautified with plans provided by Surbana Jurong. It has been stated that transactions can be carried out easily with the approval of the usage of the Indian rupee in the country. The police will take stern legal action against persons who misuse the hotline number 119. 10 arrested for illegally fishing in Trincomalee. In foreign news, thousands leave scout camp after South Korea heatwave. That ends tonight's news broadcast. 2 minutes to 9 o'clock. This is Radio Sri Lanka.